Greetings. My name is Dash Lalonde. I'm the Managing Director of the Dashworks Sovereign Society. And thank you for joining us today. I'll be discussing the new form I created, the Corporate Information Request Form. So, have you ever asked yourself, what can I do to stop collection agencies from threatening to take away my livelihood? If you have, you may want to stay until the end to find out how you may be able to accomplish that. So before I get into it, I want to state a couple of facts. If you have any doubts about what I'm about to say, I invite you to research the material presented or buy me a coffee and become a part of my coffee crowd, which will provide you an opportunity to discuss these and any other issues on a one-to-one basis. So I will relate a situation I'm involved in that has a financial institution and two collection agencies engaged in attempting to reduce my livelihood to zero. They do that through fraud, extortion, and racketeering. So number one, every individual that has provided a birth certificate and social insurance number has a trust account that is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and it's held by the United States Treasury. It doesn't matter what country you're in. This trust, the Sescavie Trust, is meant to provide for all your needs as you go through life. Your social insurance number is the account number, and your name is used in all caps as its title. However, it has been usurped by a criminal cabal, and instead it is used to slowly siphon off all your assets to prevent you from reaching or living a successful life. It is a complicated matter, and there are many ways you, an individual, private being, sovereign living soul, child of God, can counter their attempts to steal your assets. If we look at my website here, link is in the description, you can see that I have these documents posted, and they identify me as a private individual, a child of God, a sovereign living soul. The world we live in is based on commerce. The birth certificate and social insurance number create a legal entity, a corporate entity based on you, the living being, that the corporate organizations that call themselves a government use to arbitrarily encase you, the private individual, sovereign living soul, child of God, into a corporate entity that they can control. They do this by using the Sescavie trusts. Whenever they refer to you, they lock you into a corporate contract without telling you, and they use it to demand that you follow their orders. For example, lockdowns, car insurance, property taxes, etc. What they fail to tell you or teach you is that all interactions with the corporate governments and other corporations like collection agencies are trust actions, and as such must be handled through trust law. And whoever is initiating the interaction with you, trying to establish a contract with you, has to act in the interests of the beneficiary of the trust, and that beneficiary is you. To do otherwise is judicial malfeasance, a crime. You, as the beneficiary, cannot be held liable for the trust. So in short, if a corporate government collection agency or any other corporate entity contacts you in reference to your corporate entity, your trust, it should only be to either provide you with some sort of financial payments or for authorization to make payment on your behalf through the Sescavie Trust. Okay? So that's a brief rundown on how financial transactions should be processed under the Uniform Commercial Code. Link for that is in the description, which is how commerce is carried out around the world. One more thing. A contract requires two signatures, one from each party involved, and no changes can be made on that contract without both parties' agreement. And nothing can be assumed to be included. Only that which is stated in the contract is required of both parties to fulfill. Anything else is null and void, If anything is added or removed without agreement between the two parties, this would be a breach of contract, and the party responsible could be held liable for damages. So, if you look here, I have a section called Rules of Commerce. Okay, so it says, the corporate information request form is to be used by any corporate entity or agent thereof prior to making any contractual requests with Lord Lalonde, myself. Lord Lalonde reserves the right to use the fee schedule as a guide for assessing fees when applicable. Use the fee schedule to calculate applicable fees. And then I have a link to the corporate information request form. Okay, the fee schedule is my fee schedule that I have set in order to ensure I am protected against unlawful aggression by some corporate entity. Okay, and here we have the corporate information form. So let's look at it. Okay, can I bring that up? Let's see. 1, 2. That work? Where's the? It's going to work here. Plus. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the financial interaction. Okay. Okay. So just under the title is a statement that reads, within the universal maximum of law, notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. All addressed parties jointly and severally, as well as their successors, nominees, and assigns. Okay, this means if I give the clerk at a company a message for the president of the company, the clerk is responsible for ensuring the president receives the message. And the reverse is also true. Okay? The statement of fact is my declaration acknowledging God's authority over man and man's authority over earth. The last statement tells the corporate entity, tells the corporate entity that if they are requiring information, in this case, my Sescovy Trust, then they are to refer to my fee schedule before submitting this request. It is also stated that a standard $500 administrative fee is required and that it must be paid in gold, silver, or fiat currency. Then they are instructed to make payment to my company. Page 2, and we'll bring that out. Right, that's what happened there. Okay, 1, 2. We'll go here. Bring that back down. Okay. Page 2. Okay. Let's see what happened here. Page 2. Okay, page 2. Okay, so this is where they declare what corporation is requesting this information and who is the agent for the corporation. Okay, I should state here that a corporation cannot interact with a living being, sovereign living soul, child of God, or private being. A corporation is a paper document. For example, when a collection agency calls you and asks to speak to you, they are referring to your corporate entity, the all caps name. If they require your social insurance number, birth certificate, any corporate government identification, they are dealing with a trust issue, and therefore are committing, at the minimum, fraud. When they say they are calling in reference to some bogus debt they say you owed to some other party, they have committed racketeering offense. When they threaten to take you through the administrative tribunal process to remove you from your assets, they are committing an extortionist offense. The only reason a corporate entity, phone company, auto loan company, mortgage company, etc., should be contacting you to get your assent to make payment on your behalf through your Sescovy trust account. Okay? Page 3 is the start of the fee schedule. I previously posted the fee schedule and the corporate request form separately, but I decided to combine them to make it easier for me to get the fee schedule into the hands of the corporate entities that may want to contact me, and to maybe spur them on to act lawfully instead of as the corrupt individuals, criminals they are. So, let me make this clear. As a private being, sovereign living soul, child of God, you are not required to tell anybody anything. Doesn't matter who they are or think they are, okay? So, any fee you decide to charge them is lawful. And finally, on the last page, I'll have to scroll down here. That's it, there. There we go. Okay, and on the last page, they are instructed to send their request by registered mail. Now, if they follow your instructions, send the administrative fee and any other fees connected to their request, you are still not obligated to provide them with anything. It just means they are willing to pay for the information. The form is not a contract. The only obligation is on them for requesting the information on you. Okay? So, maybe getting a little bit long-winded here, so I'll briefly explain how I have used the fee schedule and corporate request form with the company trying to remove me from my assets. Okay? So a couple of years ago, I received an email from a company called PRA Group Canada, Inc. They demanded payment for a loan I took out through a loans company called Easy Financial. Later, I received a similar email from a different company called TPH Law, demanding payment for PRA Canada Group, Inc., in reference to the loan I received from Easy Financial. This is racketeering. Okay, I eventually responded. I made payment according to the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, and considered the matter closed. Well, apparently, and of course I anticipated this, TPH Law and the PRA Group, Inc. did not see things that I had, and they continued to send me emails demanding payment, threatening to bankrupt me and remove me from my possessions. So I again sent them payment as per the UCC, as well as an invoice for my services, and I assigned some fees for committing fraud and extortion by not accepting my previous payment. They were informed to use my fee schedule and corporate request form, how to address me, and how they may contact me. To date, I have not received any payment of my invoice, while the company they say I owe a debt to is texting me and asking me to take out another loan, a pre-approved loan I might add, but I haven't responded to them yet. And I'm still receiving the odd email from TPH Law. The last one came on September 3rd, 2025, and they're still demanding payment and threatening my livelihood. They were sent a conditional acceptance, and I will do a video on what that is in the future. As well, there are many videos out there regarding conditional acceptance agreements, and they haven't responded to that either. So to conclude, the corporate information request form can be used to protect you from unwanted contact with criminal corporations trying to extract money from you through fraudulent demands, extortionist threats, and racketeering if used correctly. It can be used for any situation involving a corporation demanding you comply with their demands. Now, I realize I haven't covered every aspect of how this document has helped me, and could be of use to you. That would take much more time than I want to spend on this video. But hopefully you can see how it can be used to deter unscrupulous criminals from continuing to harass you at their will. I invite you to research any of the subject matter I have covered to help you defend yourself against unlawful attempts by corporate entities to remove you from your assets. Now, if you enjoyed this video and would like to support me in my work, we have merchandise on sale. Links will be in the description. Or you can buy me a coffee, scan the QR code, or use the link in the description. And like, share, and subscribe. If you would like more to learn about Dashworks Sovereign Society, you can check out this video. It might be over here. And upcoming will be a video on some pay dirt, a pay dirt review video. I got some pay dirt from Yukon Pay Dirt that I will be doing a review on. And I just got to mention, as far as the interactions with the TPA law and their emails, they have not followed through on anything. Okay, they continue, they threaten, they want to see if you break. Okay, but what I'm doing actually is I have another invoice I'm going to be sending them, and it's going to be worth a whopping amount of money. So when I'm doing that, and I guess before I do it, I'll make a quick video just to show you what I'm doing next in that relation, okay? So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless. Oh, and cheap product advertising. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.